world? It's us again. We're live in Johannesburg in our headquarters, I'm thinking. Yeah. So today we just want to speak about self-esteem. Self-esteem in leadership and the importance of the power of self-esteem in leadership and just in general. I think we'll come up with a lot of examples where we speak about the power of self-esteem. So yeah, KG can just maybe start by defining to us what self-esteem is, and then
Okay. Self-esteem, I'll equate it to self-love.
Self-love, yeah.
That a person has accepted themselves.
Yep.
They feel hurry, even me, I am special.
Yeah.
Just like everyone else. Yeah.
Me, I'd summarize self-esteem as like self-respect. Yeah, self-respect. A lot of times, self-esteem has a lot to do with confidence, but it's not the same thing. I feel like too much. I think too much confidence may lead to arrogance, but I feel like too much self-esteem can never lead to arrogance. You know what I mean? Too much self-esteem, especially in leadership, will get you into places you never thought you'd be. And some places that you go, you need self-esteem to actually survive.
Self-esteem is actually something that is very vital in the modern day, right?
Yes.
Like I'll give you a nice example of two examples, two countries, Ethiopia and Kenya.
Yes.
So in Ethiopia, they made trade for both Ethiopia and Kenya.
Yes.
In Ethiopia, they made a train that was electrified and had a very long track. And
Yes.
then they actually paid half the value of what Kenya actually paid for their train, which was running on diesel, and the track was even longer. So this actually shows a difference in self-esteem between the two governments when they went into negotiation, because you notice that the Ethiopians, Ethiopia was never colonized, so in terms of how they feel themselves, they feel with anyone they meet, we are an equal, which shows in their train they had the top-notch technology, but they actually paid much less than the Kenyans paid for their.
Did both countries pay to the same person?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a Chinese company that was actually contracted for.
But they got different products for way too different amounts. The ones that paid more got less actually.
Exactly.
Which was Kenya, and then Ethiopia paid less, but they got more. Like you said, the railways were even longer. All those things. Well, my example that I'd like to touch on, it's with Kenya as well. How self-esteem has enabled them to even go far, and it tracks back to Obama. When he won the elections in 2009, I feel like that's where he empowered Kenyans. That's where the self-esteem in Kenya gave rise. You know what I mean? And because now Kenya, you see them with technology, they are amongst the top 3 African countries who are far, you know what I mean? And I definitely attribute that to Obama winning the elections in 2009. And since then, I feel like they're on a roller coaster, only going up, you know what I mean? And Kenya will be a significant part in the rise of Africa. It already is actually, because it's like the Silicon Valley of Africa. That's where I always attribute it to, and this is my personal feeling that I always mention about how I see Kenya as the Silicon Valley of Africa. You know what I mean? And I attribute that to the power of self-esteem, because they had to believe in themselves that if Obama, someone with Kenyan descent, can be president in the US, what more can we do? That question gives rise to self-esteem. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So That is an example where we're seeing someone who shows the world that even though I am black, I can also be great.
Yeah.
Empowers others.
Yeah.
So that's for one to have self-esteem, so one who has self-esteem doesn't need to actually, have an example to, but it is always nice to actually have an example. So we come to see how even how self-esteem can sometimes lead to imbalances in negotiations. Yeah. Because when you come into the negotiating room thinking that you are somehow less than your opponent, that somehow you deserve less, it's bound to happen that when you come out of the deal, you come out with less.
Especially when the person you're negotiating with is coming in there with a high altitude of self-esteem.
Exactly.
You're bound to lose. Now it no longer even becomes about the product quality, the cost implications. It's boils down. It's just an emotional matter, and that emotion is self-esteem. You know what I mean? So where can you say you personally self-esteem has prevailed in your dealings wherever?
Okay. I would say for me, self-esteem has prevailed in my dealings in that because I approach people with that respect.
Yes.
But in that way that I'm not any way below them. Like people can relate to me. Really. I find that I can relate to a whole lot of people much easier with regards to let's say I'm at an event and there's need for socializing and the networking. I find it because I feel like I'm an equal in this room. I don't have that fear to actually approach someone and actually talk to them.
I
What
could
about
also,
you?
Me, I heavily relate to that. Networking is where self-esteem has prevailed, where self-esteem has helped me. Just knowing someone who has the ability to actually help you. But also I feel like self-esteem is generated through working hard behind the scenes. When you are alone, when you are doing your coding, when you are doing your design work, when you are studying, you know what I mean? That's where esteem is cultivated. So now when you go and network, people ask you exactly what you do because you've been doing it so much and you like what you do and you've been doing it with persistent effort and constant improvement. It's easy for you to just be confident and say, I do this because you're speaking these things with esteem because they have a background, they have a solid background, they have a solid effort that has been put into it. So one way of cultivating esteem, if you want to cultivate esteem, is work hard on your art. You don't even have to work hard. Just work consistently on your art, and then that's where self-esteem will rise upon. Even us, like recording, this is like our third video. I remember our first, in fact, it's our fourth official one. But now our first one, it was a bit tricky because we had never done this before. Not saying this one is the perfect one, but there's improvement every time we watch our stuff, and we see improvement. And also when you study someone else who's probably doing what you do, self-esteem is definitely gonna rise because you even speaking to a mentor. Mentors are also there to also pick up with our esteems up. Understand? So that's an example I can put.
And coming to speak about governance and high positions of government, why self-esteem is actually important. I mean, when you think about it, these are the people who we put in power to represent us.
Yes, true.
So if we want them going into any negotiation for us, we want to make sure that we are putting someone in with self-esteem who's gonna be come in there, be strong and not compromise us.
Yes.
in these dealings. I mean, I criticize President Ramaphosa a lot, but who he went to the EU and actually told them that land will be expropriated in South Africa. I was just like, nah, that took guts, and I feel he was supporting us there. He was representing us there, and he showed self-esteem in stepping up there and being clear about his position and what he plans to do with the country going forward.
So self-esteem in leadership, especially amongst presidents, you feel that it's very critical, and it makes sense. You know, every country needs a president who has high esteem enough to take his country further, and not just presidents, but also company CEOs. People like Zuckerberg, for instance. I remember last year when he was when he had to answer these privacy things, in the court, in front of the governors and all of those things, he needed to have esteem for him to salvage, the situation and keep it calm. And also for leaders, it's crucial for you to have self-esteem, because whenever crisis comes, you need a leader with self-esteem to make that PR statement, and say boldly to the masses that we are taking this thing, we are taking this thing seriously, and we are willing to correct it through all measures. If he says that without an element of self-esteem, it becomes difficult for anyone to believe that this thing is actually going to happen. You know what I mean? With us Africans, I feel like it's now the time for Africans to start showcasing self-esteem, because I feel like with a continent as rich as ours, we've had all the resources, but one crucial resource that we had lacked is self-esteem. Because I can imagine with our leaders negotiating with the Westerns and whatnot, I feel like those are people with high level of self-esteem, backed up by their historical figures, such as maybe, for instance, in the US they have Benjamin Franklin. They have who's that guy with the light bulb and all those things? What was his name?
With the light bulb.
Yeah, the one who worked with Tesla.
Thomas Edison.
So when people look up to those people, obviously they gain confidence. And it's also critical for us to also look at our history. People like Haile Selassie, we want to come in contact with those people. That's how self-esteem is inherently built. So we as Africans, for us now to go for it, because this is our time now, and we are appealing to the masses that without self-esteem as Africa, we're not gonna reach the maximum heights. We're only gonna scratch the surface. But with self-esteem, we can go far. You know what I mean? So
that I agree with, man. We're going to need leaders with self-esteem to stand up to the big bullies in the West. The Trumps and them.
That's another leader who has high self-esteem.
That
you know
is
what I mean?
Because
for him, I remember Trump as a businessman. I remember the first time I heard that Trump is campaigning, I think it was around 2015. When I heard about it, I was like, what? You know what I mean? But the man has balls. You cannot take it away from him. The man has esteem. He is where he is right now because of self-esteem. He had many naysayers, hopefully, but his self-esteem prevailed. He still has it even today. And I don't really blame him, because, like I said, they have a wealth of personalities that brought about the self-esteem, like the Thomas Edisons and all of those people. So Any maybe final points?
I think I'm pretty much done with that. We can say goodbyes. You can, if you wanna check our website, you can check it down below. If you want to subscribe to our channel, click on that bell button to get notifications. And
share the video. And also, if you have anything to say regarding self-esteem, personally, leadership-wise, your experiences on self-esteem, write a comment, let us know. We'd like to hear from you as well. So till next time, I guess we're out.
Peace.
Will you Will you, for instance, borrow money on the scale that so many other countries have? Zimbabwe, for instance. How will you deal with this problem?
Mr. Mandela?
South Africa is not a poor country. As I have said, our budget this year is 126 billion rand. We also are going to reorganize the budget, restructure the budget in order to avoid the wastage of a party. We will be able to use the country's resources in a more efficient manner.